Are you guys hear me in YouTube land? Gotta get on Discord here. Thank you. Alright, I'll be back in 1 minute. Ish.
Thank you, wrong answer.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should heavily consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites are digital venues for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit and that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in most Apple Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without transformation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representations being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently stark differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading report can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses on material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general and to implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results and more, of which can adversely affect actual trading results. Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options.
Sorry. Wrong
This
one.
trade room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. Analysis of share trades, potential trades, and I take myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of the service is to teach trades and identify specific areas of trading and themselves without promoting decisions. Trading is extremely risky and each side follow person trading is looking for risk and potentially your entire company. I know it's profitable and I think $200 on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that I access to is my personal spreadsheet and I use that as a value to take out values down and when you have prices on my trades. You can see when I have prices on my spreadsheet as well as prices on trades whether you like it long or short. You can look at the spreadsheet and create your own values and use mine to confirm some prices until they are on those spreadsheets. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction trades, it has central prices and stop prices for long short positions depending on which one person decides.
Alrighty, good morning. Welcome to Mayhem. Alright, gotta get out of some of these. So there's just stuff flying off everywhere. Like it goes from nothing happening anywhere to just event after event after event in every market. So I'm trying to keep up. I missed a nice part of, well, I wouldn't be out of the full thing, but this is ES. I missed this trade. We'll go over these trades that I missed and the ones I put on. This was a bark blind ATR retest confirm. It was a lick, and there was also a heavy L. We'll go over these different strategies. So I have different strategies, AK areas where I look for these volume events where I put on trades. So I missed that. I could have gotten, you can see this entry, so this yellow line's the entry. I could have actually put it on when it came back, but I would have been out of some down here. So my rule of thumb is if I put on it, if I miss a trade where I would already been out of some, I don't put it on when it comes back to the entry point. So I kind of wish I did right now, but anyway, I missed 3 different trading strategies on that guy. Hold on here. Currently short crude. So there was a slug up here. Crude still looks pretty bullish. We'll go over that, but I'm trailing my stop to this most recent event. Actually, what I'll do. So this was, once again, this was an event in an important area. These are areas that I look at that I deem important. You can see there's the Ludwig levels, extremely powerful, second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my career. There's a stop run up here, took that trade aggressively. Overall, though, this market looks very bullish. Hold on, I gotta get, there's just stuff everywhere right now. Let's see what's going on here. So, NQ, so we'll, again, I don't have anything on in these equities, and there's been a bunch of stuff. A number just came out, so we're clear on that front. So I will start fresh here and potentially put on trades. So the stop run was bullish. Now you got sell ice that it's bounced off of there. I'm trying to see if this is an area for me to go long. It was, so this is another important area. These are my inflection zones. So this was a zone where this market gapped up overnight. You can see it came all the way back here, and now I have my volume event. I will take this long. I should already be long off that stop run into the bottom of this. So I will go long where I would have been long here, and then I can trail my stop to this newest event, and then I can actually add the longs potentially here. So 71.75 looks like I could put on a whopping 4 micros. So let me put that on if that comes back. So this is my Izzy trade. I'm going to trade full size here. We'll go over that as well. All right. So I actually just, I wasn't even looking. I just basically paid up 20 points on that where I should have been long originally. So that's how the morning's going so far. Anyway, I should have been long this. This was the Izzy zone that I just showed you. Stop running into that Izzy zone. I take that trade first move out of here at the at this yellow line, which is an ATR plus 15%. That's how I enter my trades. I don't enter right at the zone. I enter it on that at that point, but I just bought it and it was up here. So anyway, this newest event is bullish as well. So there's potential I can trade off of that. Let's see what's going on with Algo guy. So Algo guy, this is my filter for my bark and my lick strategies. So when I'm referring to strategies, I'm just talking about my important areas, which I've put here, and I've attached Apex accounts to all these different strategies. So bark and lick. So bark is a blind ATR retest confirm, and a lick is basically the same exact trade, but it's just the target is the liquidity. But for me to put those trades on, I need this algo, this exponential moving average in my direction, in that direction of the trade. So this event that just fired off is bullish, but this is not bullish yet, so I cannot take those particular trades. Other trades, other strategies, I can take. So you saw I did take the Izzy long here, right? So you can see it listed in this document. So sometimes for lick in the bark, I use algo guy confirmation. These other areas like the Izzy trade, the pick trade, where I get in aggressive, meaning first move out of the zone, I don't need algo guy in my direction. I just, because these areas are more powerful in my opinion. Same with slug. So for instance, I put on that crude slug earlier. Algo guy was bullish. It's still bullish, but I put that on because I know how powerful the Ludwig levels are. See what I'm saying? So I don't need this confirmation. So I put it on up here, and this obviously the blue was above the red exponential moving average. That was bullish. I still put that short on, and it's still on. And I actually probably want to get out of some here because this is back into an inflection zone, I believe. Yeah, so I'm going to get out of some here. This market's still pretty bullish. I'm going to get out of half here into this inflection zone because I can't. So you have, especially when things are confluent, these are areas I get out. We'll go over that. It's in the trading in the zone document, but this is coming back into this zone, right? It's been in this zone, but we're also here at VWAP. So I don't get out of VWAP. Some people love to trade VWAP. I don't get out. I don't have any trade strategies that I enter at VWAP, but I will get out at VWAP if it's confluent with something else. So you just saw us confluent with that Izzy zone, so I just got out of some here, and it's pretty close to the bottom of this market profile composite as well. So I'm not going to be able to keep an eye on it closely when it comes down to here, or else I'll probably try to see if I can hold a little longer. But I just got out of half of my slug. So there was a volume event up here. Stop run into a Ludwig level, got short, just got out of half there, so I'm still short there. All right, so again, I'm long NASDAQ, but I chased it up here. I didn't mean to. I just wasn't looking at the chart, so I should have been in there off of this guy. That was the Izzy trade. But if Algo guy pulls bullish and this does this, I can put on barks and licks off of that newest event. This is the newest sell ice event that came in, actually. Let's see here. I might be able to. I don't think you have to. So, some of this stuff is subjective where you have to decide. So this is the zone chart. Actually, let me get this all. Let me post this in the channel so you guys can follow along. So this is all the stuff I'm using. The first thing, this is a zone drawing tool, so you can see it automatically drawing the zones based on the SI events, right? So up until very recently, I had to find these areas and then manually draw the zones. Anyone that's been on my webinars have watched that torturous process. So now they draw automatically. Your developer, my trade room Yohan, has developed a tool to draw it. You can get that tool here, and then we'll go over all this stuff as well. But let me post this in the line bliss, what settings are you looking for? So that's part of the trading course, and that's part of the trading room. I mean, if you get the zone drawing tool, the thresholds are already built in. So the ones that I use, right? You can adjust them as well, but those are built in. If you're looking for a specific product, I have no problem sharing that. But other than that, you need the zone drawing tool, or my course, or trade room to get all that, because there's 22 different products that I follow that I have thresholds for. So let's see what's going on here with this long here in NASDAQ. All right, so actually I could have been on some up here. So I technically, here, let me just get out of some of these right now. Even though I pretty much entered right here. All right, so I got out of half. Basically, it wasn't that great of a profit, but I should have been long down here at 87. I'm sorry, I take that back. Right here. So this is where I was trying to enter. This was at 72.50, and I usually will get out of half of my position at yellow lug if it's kind of struggling there. So that's yellow lug, and it's pretty close to VWAP too. So I mean, this could easily blow through it. If it does, I still have half a position on. I'm fine with that, but I just got out of half here, and we'll let the other half ride. And then I can always put on different strategies based on this newest event. So this was an Izzy trade that I took, and now I'm waiting to see what happens here with Algo guy. If this thing pulls, then I'm going to take Barks and Licks long as well. That's not the right market. Hold on here. All right, so new events here in crude. So guys, this is what it's been like all morning. Like I can't, even when I'm not on the webinars, it's hard for me to keep track of what's going on today. I missed a huge trade in wheat. I'm actually still short soybeans. Let's see if that's coming back on me. No, that's all right. So we'll go over these trades when I get a chance. There's stuff firing off in gold. There's been tons of activity in natural gas. Like, it's just craziness. Wow. Like, this is why you want to be watching other markets. Like, look at this trade up here. I don't even want to. This is going to make me sad when I guarantee this was an area. And I mean, this is a 150 tick straight move in natural gas. And the number hasn't even come out yet. All right, I'll have back at gold in a second. I need to catch my breath here. I'm trying to find Algo guy so I can see what's going on in NASDAQ. I lost my chart. Hold on one second. There it is. All right, so this is starting to pull right now. So technically, I could take Barks and Licks. See how the blue is pulling above the red? So when that happens, these algos that are set to this thing, they jump on this trade, right? So that's why we call it Algo guy, and that you just have. That's just enough. We have a trade for that as well, but we have certain parameters. But the point is, you got that wind at your sales too. If I am going long here, I have that wind at my sales. So now that is bullish. If this market, I'm already long Izzy off of that. That was aggressive entry. So my Barks and Licks, I wait for this pattern, the ATR, which is the blue line, the retest, then the confirm, which is the yellow line, which is just the ATR plus 15%, and that's where I enter. I do not enter at the zone anywhere inside here. I force this, and this is just from watching thousands and thousands and thousands of these, that is the best way to enter so you don't get algoed. Yes, we were having the discussion with one of the traders in my trade room yesterday, where he misunderstood me and he thought I was getting in over here. I would love to get in right here, right? Why do I want to, if I can get in here, why do I want to wait till all the way up here? Because I learned my lesson getting in when it came back to the zone. And if you purchased my original SI course, I actually used to enter right there, or when it came back right there. And I learned my lesson that that's not the best place to enter to confirm a trade for certain strategies, right? So I wait for that to get in, because if it can show me it can push the ATR plus percentage out of there, that's telling you something, right? So around the zone is not usually a good place to be trading. We do have one trade that does that, but I'm not even getting out of here because it's not an official trade. So I wait for this pattern. That would be my entry. I'm still waiting for the retest. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's going to retest? No, very, very likely. We actually have trades for that. So you see these dotted lines. That is taking advantage of the ridiculous propensity for these markets to come back to the volume event, right? So I've just seen so many of these. I know the odds of this doing this coming back to the zone, and then that are very, very good. So I wait for that pattern for certain setups, right? Certain trading strategies. Other trading strategies, I jump in right away. I don't wait for the retest because it may not come back. So in this case, the bark and lick, I will wait for the retest. Bookmap Bob will let me know when that happens. This is all part of the zone drawing tool. It announces the things for you. It shows you exactly where to get in. This the newest version, which I'm going to be releasing soon. If you do have this tool, I'll send it out hopefully by this weekend. Yohan was testing it. It's version 109, but the ATR is pretty spot on now. So this ATR is, let's just see right now. Right, so you can see how close it is, right? So it's 22.95. So meaning you can trade right off the chart as far as your entries, your stops, the ATR. All this is you're viewing is what's in this spreadsheet,
If you want, retest it.
right? So you still need the spreadsheet for when you have to adjust your zones or draw new zones, stuff like that. But all of this information is now on this. So, but you can get the spreadsheet and you can get these inflection zone, the Izzy zones that I was talking about here. You get them as part of my trade room for free, but if you can't get in the trade room, you can still get this information. Here's the spreadsheet. Here's the inflection zones. So you can get them both as a subscription. That's that. All right, I'm getting calls that we are at the lug. So people get giddy when we're at the lug. There's a couple different things here in gold, right? So we potentially, there's a lot of activity here. So these are my important areas. Do I just trade off the lugs? No, they are. You could trade them naked, as we say. Not trade naked, trade them naked. You could trade naked too if you want. But my point is this is a very important area, and so is this. Do you see me going long? No. I wait for the volume event, which is something that's happened real time. So it looks like we got that. So now I do have a potential trading play. I'm still not just jumping in right here. I'm going to wait for this move out of here, and then I will take a gold slug. And this is exactly what I did the other way in crude earlier. The stop run into the red lug. I took that short, which I'm still in, right? So this is the blue lug. I will go long. This is the entry point, this yellow line, 2357.4, based on the ATR. Let's just make sure the ATR is right. That showed a 48 ATR. Smack dab, right on. Good job, Yohan. So I will enter the slug up here, and this gives you the position sizing. You put in your capital, how much you want to risk, and then it gives you how many you can put on based on the size of the zone. And the reason I can only put on 3 micros right now is because the ATR is off the charts. It's close to 50. That means it's rotating 50 ticks every 5 minutes. This is so important, right? For those of you that love to put on your static, when I trade gold, I want to risk 20 ticks to make 40. Okay, right now 20 ticks is a blip, right? This is moving 50 ticks every 5 minutes. If you're putting static stops in based on your view of the market, you're in trouble. Now, let me get this in before I miss this trade too. So I'm going to put on 3 micros at 2357.6. That is risking 500. Actually, I'm going to trade bigger because these that Apex has that sale that ends tonight where I've been firing on these $250,000 accounts. We'll go over that here. Actually, slug is a normal account, so I'll trade that normal, and then we'll go over the pick trade here too. Well, let me get this working. Where's gold? Slug. And that is 2357.6 is where I'm entering that one. And I'm going to enter a pick trade too. Hold on, I got to see which one I'm going to trade on that. 17. Hold on, guys. I just got to put these orders in and then we'll. Those are all working. All right, so what I'm doing here, there's your volume event. Something happened in real time. Stop run, usually stop runs. And what you could do is combine these. I don't think you need to here because these were kind of spaced out. So I'm just going to trade off of that guy. And this is where I'm entering. So this is a volume event, dumb money puke. I call it Dumb and Dumber, one of my 6 distinct setups. That is part of my, this is part of the trading course. If you want to fast track your learning, if you come in my room or you're on these webinars, you can learn what I'm doing. It's just your learning curve is going to be very steep. If you get this stuff, then you know and you hit the ground running. So you're not trying to understand the basics when I'm trading live, because everyone's always complaining, oh, you're talking too fast. Oh, it's like drinking from a fire hose. Yes, guys, I'm trading live. Like, especially on a day like today where there's stuff firing off everywhere, I don't have time to break things down to the very basics. So if you know this information, you can follow along instead of trying to understand the basics, is what I'm saying. So anyway, these are the setups. So I look for these real-time volume setups. Stop run, this is the Dumb and Dumber right there, the very first one, in important areas. That's it. It doesn't get more technical than that. Oops. And we'll go over this Apex stuff later too. Oh my god, no, I just lost my share chart. Alright. Alright, so surprise, that's bouncing off the lug. I'm still not filled. And the other trade I'm taking here too is the PIC trade. This is a profile. PIC is profiles encouraged. This is a prior market profile composite. Straight move into this puppy. Those are some of the best trades. So are the Izzy. Actually, this might be an Izzy trade too. Let's see. Let's see if this is an Izzy trade. I'm not going to take Izzy here. So these are zones. These aren't exact prices, but you know the volume event is smack dab in the middle of this one and this one. So I'm not going to take the Izzy here, but I will take the slug and the PIC for this. These are other important areas that I use, right? Like I took off the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ, this was the Izzy trade that I took. Right, back to this important area. So those are working. If I have not been filled on gold yet. Remember, I wait for this to move. To prove this is a bullish setup, this needs to be able to push at least an ATR out of here, and then my fill is just outside of an ATR. That is to avoid this. You see this Christmas tree looking color? Those are algos whipsawing you guys to death. So it doesn't mean once I get filled I won't get whipsawed, but it has a much higher chance of, the trade has a much higher chance of working if this can show the strength to push an ATR outside of the zone, because there's algos in here that love to snap it back to the volume event at the ATR, right? So that's why I demand that. And again, this is why we have this trade, this reversion trade, you can see on the chart, for these playing for the move back to the zone. So that's what I demand to put the trade on. So I have nothing on yet. I still don't know if this is a bullish or bearish setup. Once it hits the ATR, either way is going to tell me which way I can trade it and which strategies I can put on. So that's working. I want to keep an eye on this crude because crude is still very bullish as of right now. Yeah, see how so I got out of half here, and there you go, bottom of there. I'm going to get out of a couple more here, because I'm not going to be able to monitor it. So I put this on pre-market. My room put it on too. Everyone was talking about it. I'll show you. Everybody's doing it. Just kidding. So that's a good segue for my room, right? So this is what the room looks like, and people participating, and that's what I want. So if you come in the room, don't come in the room unless you're going to participate, right? So you can see. This is what I want. I want this to be like our own trading firm where everybody is posting events. It helps me too, because on a day like today, I'm missing stuff. People are like, "Hey, check out soybeans. Hey, check out double whammy in wheat, stuff like that." Right here, this is a double whammy. So anyway, everyone was talking about this. Everybody's doing it. CL slug as well. Gabrielle was pointing that out right away. I actually put a long on right into the lug. I didn't realize it. I got stopped out of that guy, and then I turned around and took the short off of that event. But that's what he was talking about, and I just showed you guys that. But this is what the room is, and then I do these webinars like I'm doing right now, usually twice a day, almost every morning and sometimes the afternoon. If it's dead, I won't do it because it's just watching paint dry lately. But all right, hold on. What am I missing here in NQ? Did I just miss a retest? Yep, sure did. Hey, wow, look at that. You guys ever see this pattern here? All right, I need to be long bark and lick. Remember we just talked about this? So let me put this on and we'll go over. It's ridiculous how often these markets retest these volume events. Ridiculous. And we have a trade for it, right? Let me put this on. Put on 4. All right, that's lick. I haven't confirmed if there's a lick up there. I'm pretty damn positive there is. So let's see. Well, there's some up here. It's not crazy liquidity. So the whole barks are. So we've been talking about looking for these volume events in important areas. Well, this in itself is an edge. This volume event that happened is an edge. So I want to take advantage of that. It's a very aggressive type of trade. You're going to see them all over the place. That's why I demand the Algo guy filter for these trades. But a bark and a lick are basically the same trade. The lick is I'm putting on the trade, and my ultimate target is the resting liquidity. I don't get out at my traditional areas, which you'll see me. So if this trade starts rolling, you'll see me get out of certain areas, like you saw me get out of some of my crude, and whatever else I got out of at traditional areas. The lick trade is holding through all those areas to try to get to there. So it's liquidity or bust, and or bust meaning I stop out, and or an opposing volume event. Those are the only ways I will get out of my lick trade. Of course, filter the tick here. Anyway, this was, let's see, what reversion trade. So on the spreadsheet, so again, remember we always said the spreadsheet is on this chart. That is this part of the spreadsheet that you get, again, as part of the spreadsheet. So the top part of this, and I don't have the correct values in here because I'm trading off the chart, but this is for my position trading strategies where I'm looking for bigger moves. The bottom part of this is for the reversion strategy where you can get short or long for a move back to the zone. So this one was perfect. So you can see here, this was, well, this one, so you would have stopped out of the one, but then the two worked, right? So you've got, this is just like any other trading strategy, and this is very labor intensive. It's probably the best type of scalp that you can do. Instead of staring at that, this is the best scalp. So anyway, say you said, okay, I'm going to take the 1 and the 2 here. Well, so this was the entry on the 1, the dotted line. We have disqualifiers too. I may not have taken this. I'm not going to get into that right now because I'm not going to be taking this trade on the webinar because it's way too active. Anyway, the 1 entry was there. And then the stop for the 1 is this dashed dotted line. So you would have been stopped out basically the tick to the 1, but then the 2 ATR worked, right? And then we have actual, all right, see how it's still rolling. You can see here. So my room moderator did an exact, I don't want to cover too much of this because I'm not putting this trade on the webinars, like I said, but these are what you have to have winning percentage wise to break even. So the 1 is very, very active. You got to be a 60% trader just to break even. But like I've said, and we're actually building this out with a trading firm, so we're going to have the exact stats. From my experience of watching about 4.2 million of these things, it's 70% or higher. The 1 will come back to the zone, the 1 ATR. And then you can see, so even if I got stopped out of the 1 there, here's the 2. That you only have to be a 42% trader. 42% win percentage, and that's a 1.38 to 1 trade, right? So even if I lost on the 1, I put the 2 on, well, I made 1.38 on the 2, so I'm up 0.38 on the 2, the 1 and the 2, if I put them both on, you see what I'm saying? And then we have the 3. The 3 is this one, and the 3 is almost a 2 to 1 risk reward. So you have to decide, because then I always get, well, which ones do I put on? I don't know. Sometimes the 1s work nonstop. They just keep hitting the 1 and coming back. The 2s sometimes are the best ones. The 3s some days are the best ones, right? So I don't know. We're working this out with a trading firm where we're going to get concrete stats. But the point is, whatever one you decide to do, you got to put them on religiously. You don't pick and choose. You got to trade. If you want to beat the algos, you need to trade like an algo. So that was a little too detailed for that trade, considering I'm not even putting it on. But I get a lot of questions on that. All right, so there's still stuff firing off everywhere. All right, so here's a perfect example. So remember, I was waiting to go long gold, but I did. It was at an important area. Did you see me go long gold? No. And guess what? I avoided a loss. Why? Because this was at the Ludwig level. This was at a market profile composite. I don't get in until it can show me it can get the ATR outside the ATR for my entry. This is exactly why, right? So some of you just want to hop in the minute you see these things fire off. Well, then that's what's going to happen a lot of times. Doesn't mean it can't come up here and fill me and then do this, but it has a much less odds of doing that versus just jumping in until it shows which way it's going to trade. So that's a bearish setup. Now you have a new event. So now I start to monitor or scan for what trades I can put on off these new events, right? Long or short. So let's see what Algo guy looks like here. Because the barks and licks are the most active trades, but I need this thing in the same direction. All right, so Algo guy is bearish. And you can see it keeps, this is another pattern, and we have a trade for this called red rum, red rum, red rum. So all these trading strategies are supposed to be partially funny, and so they're memorable, but that's this trade here, red rum. I'm not saying there was an actual trade there, but that's one of the areas, an important area that I look for volume events. Either way, this is bearish. I can't take barks and licks off of this guy. As long as we get new lugs, I don't want to really short into the lug because they're so powerful. We'll look at that here in a second. But if we do this, that, and this is the ATR confirmation for this event right here. And it looks like it got there. And the great thing about Bookmap Bob is he'll tell you if it got there. So let's see. Doesn't look like it got there. Yeah, it did. So this is what this was saying. GC short validated. And it tells you when the zone has started. So it's talking about this puppy right here. So what just happened there? The ATR worked, or the reversion trade worked. This one was this was the one. So this is what I'm saying. Like if you're gonna take these trades, once you get the zone draw or you come in my room, you got to take them all. So we just saw the one ATR and NASDAQ lose, right? Well, this one ATR right back to the zone. And something new came in, but I'm just saying this happened, and it happens all day, every day. That's why we have a trade for it. Anyway, there's your ATR, prior ATR. Here's your retest. So if this comes back out of here, I can go short this event. There's a caveat to that, as long as this guy doesn't prove bullish, because I'm always defaulting to the most recent event. So as long as this puppy stays underneath, doesn't touch this ATR line for this guy, then I can still short this, and there's potential I can go short that as well. So I could add the position. So we'll see what happens here. That's to the short side. What else do we have? This is still a
S&P stocks top by ES 707 contracts.
all right. Hold on, I'm still long. We'll monitor this. I'll come back to the areas. I just want to see. I really don't want to get caught up just staring at gold all day. You'll literally lose your mind. All right, so I got a new event in ES. So if you were short this, remember I said I missed this short earlier when it did that. I would have got out of some down here, but I would still have some on. So what would I do now? Well, that's the beauty of these new events. So the way I put my stops in the market, I don't force my, I can't think of the word now, but I don't have just random stops that I say, oh, I just want to, this is a winner, I'm going to move it down to break even. No, that's what these algos want. You see what goes on. So if I were to have put this trade on right there, my stop is up here, this yellow line. And I don't move it unless I see another event. So if this thing starts rolling down, yeah, I'll get out in important areas, but I don't move my stop just because I want to lock in profit. That's the dumbest thing. The number one thing that I see traders that don't do well, right? They do, because you cannot approach trading like real life, where you're looking at your P&L and you see this thing rolling and you're up like $3,000 and you're like, oh my God, that's going to pay my mortgage this month. I don't want to give that back. And then you trail your stop. So you lock in profit, and then it does this, and they play algo games with you, and then it does that and drops another 50 points, and you don't have anything on anymore because you wanted to lock in your profit. There's nothing wrong with locking in profit. I lock my profit in as the market makes money available to me, aka straight out of trading in the zone. So we'll get in all these too once I finally get a trade on here. I mean, I have NASDAQ on. We'll go there. I got to monitor that. I'll go there in a second. Anyway, these are the areas that I will get out at. So I get out as the market makes money available to me, straight out of trading in the zone. This document is straight out of trading in the zone. Read it. One of the best trading books in the history of the world, right? And then these are my levels. I put this in. This isn't in trading in the zone. These are the levels that I deem important to get out. But as far as my stops, I do not stop out until it comes back and stops me out, unless I get a new event. So you can see if I was short here, I would trail my stop to this new event. The caveat here is I try my best not to stop out in prior events, so I would move it up out of there. But if you are short ES, now you don't have to risk all the way up here. You can move it down to there. So anyway, real-time stuff. Let's see where we're at. First, let me monitor NASDAQ because I still have this straight on long. It's working decent. Remember, I got out a half over here. Now let's see. Now back to my important areas. Let's see if we are in an important area where I can piece out of some of these. I already got out of some of your yellow lugs, so this is yellow lug, pretty confluent VWAP. So there's nothing really else for me to get out until we get. So I always try to hold a portion to the red lug, which is quite a ways away, and or an opposing volume event. So NASDAQ staying on, because I already got out of half here at the yellow lug. So I'm holding the rest of them until red lug or bust, meaning it comes all the way back and stops me out, or I get a new volume event. And you can bet this moves higher, there's going to be a new volume event. I take that back. There's another area that I will look to get out of some, this prior event. So if it gets up here and it starts to struggle, I will get out of some there. And that is right here. Same day prior stop iceberg events. So I would piece out of a couple more, and then I'm going to hold the rest, try to get to the red lug. I don't think there's other stuff up here. No. So that's it. So let's see what happens there. Back to ES. Now we start to monitor, go through the process of what I'm going to do with this newest volume event that just happened. Well, what do you know? It looks like red rum, red rum. So that's one strategy I could put a short on if this area fails, right? Important area, the red algo guy. Here's your volume event. That's one area I can potentially short. Or else, what else is here? I got nothing market profile. This is today's trade. All right, I only trade the edges of these guys. So if this moves up here and I get an event there, I could take that short, right? Or if it came down here, I got an event there, I could take that long. We're smack dab in the middle of this thing, like smack dab at the point of control. And this is like a 5-day composite. There's nothing for me to do there. There's nothing for me to do on the lugs. There's no major lugs. The only other option is a potential inflection zone. Well, of course, I lost that chart as usual. Hold on. So this is the process. And usually I have all this information in my head, right? Like I already know this is what you want to do pre-market. You want to know all your areas and then if-then scenarios. So when stuff starts firing off, like today, 85 markets, I have a pretty good idea where we're at. And I'm not scrambling, going through this process to find out where we're at. So this is in the middle of nowhere. The next zone up is basically this. It was the bottom, or it was the top of this guy. And then I changed it to, that was directional conviction from the day. So that's an important zone that I would take as these shorts if it got up there. But other than that, the only short I could put on off of this event is red rum. Red rum. I keep saying that, guys, because it's out of The Shining, and it's that little kid that said red rum nonstop. Right, why is this not? So, important volume event there. Everything's set up. So red rums are aggressive entries. So this comes down. I'm in at this price, aggressive, meaning first move. I don't wait for this. For this strategy, I don't wait for, oh, did I just X out of that? You gotta be kidding me. All right, I just X out of that zone. Hold on, here it is. So this is why you want to know how to draw the zones too. That's part of the course too, but this is pretty easy, right? So it started here, ended there. So I'm gonna draw a stop run there, buy stop run, and started basically right there. So that's the zone that I should be trading. 34.75. The values, hold on here, to 33.50. Make sure the ATR is correct. It's nice to see an ATR over 2 in this crappy market. I don't see my ATR chart. Hold on. I just don't know where all my charts go. All right, let me put this in just in case because I don't want to be. I'm pretty sure this ATR is spot on. So meaning red rum, red ribbon, volume event. Do you see me hopping in right now? No. This is the same reason I didn't get in the gold long. I wait for the market to show me it can push the ATR and then some. That's my entry, 26.75. And I know you guys that I like a brisk 3 points when I put on my ES trades. What is this nonsense? I don't want to put a weight to there. Why can't I get on right at the zone? You can do whatever you want. If you want to listen to me until you watch 3 million of these things, or 4.2 million, whatever I said earlier, you want to get in right here, get in right here. I think that is not, I don't think, I know because I've traded so many of these. That's why I forced this market to get to there for me to put on the short. Not here. Yeah, that's a full 8 points or whatever it is, 7 points. So it's just outside of an ATR. 7 points is not a big move right now based on the volatility. That's why this is so important. So that's what I demand. I don't get in around the zone. And I don't get in, say I did this and it came back here. Barks and Licks would be in play too because Algo guy's bearish. I don't get in here. I wait for this to get in. You guys, this is why you're on these webinars, to listen to my experience. One, as a used to be a very large trader with order flow and everything else. So I've seen it, done it, right? And then to garner my experience, I think that's the word, of these, right? So you can trade these however you want. You get the zone drawer, you need the zone drawer, draw them yourself. You want to trade them however you want, go ahead. But I highly recommend, until you get about 4 million under your belt, you might want to listen to me. Doesn't mean you can't, get in here and trade exactly like I'm trading them and then start to see these patterns, different patterns that I may not see, and then trade them differently. Fine, you do whatever you want. But my point is, you might want to listen to what I'm saying as far as how to trade these until you get experience with them. So anyway, my entry is at 27. Shows me I can put on 7. So we've been, a lot of times if my thesis is in a certain way, like for instance, like if crude I'm still short crude too, by the way. But actually crude's starting to look not so good, but take a quick look. My point is, if I get the thesis in the way of the volume events, then I trade bigger size. I don't have an opinion. I mean, I'm going to go short ES, but I'm certainly not bearish ES. This is a very, very, very important area for crude. This is about to be a fail breakout, and this thing's going to zero. Free gas for everybody. So let's see if it moves a little lower. We'll come back to that. So anyway, let me put this order in. I could put on 7 based on my risk, 7 micros, risking $500 on the trade, 10% of 5,000. And this is showing you regular size contracts. So you just, if you're trading the micros, which I highly recommend, those of you that are just putting on one mini ES, it's all or nothing. So the market starts moving in your favor. You want to get out, you have to get out of the whole thing. Put on 10 micros instead of 1 ES, and then you can get out of 3, you can get out of 2 as the market makes money available to you. That's what I recommend. Anyway, all right, I'm putting on 27. This is red rum, and then there's a way I can put on Barks and Licks too if that happens. So we'll monitor this, but as of right now, my red rums are aggressive, meaning I'm not waiting for a retest of the zone. Put on 7 at 27. So let me put that on. All right, those are working. So I'm close to a fill here. I still have I got out of half a NASDAQ and I'm still in it. You don't see me, we've already gone over this, but I didn't just move it back to break even, right? What I could do, well, I didn't want to get into this on this webinar because so we have a trade that's developing. It's called hot knife through butter. When the market hits 2 ATR twice and it can't go so many times, when it gets back to the zone, it gets killed. So I could move my stop up here, but I'm just gonna leave it where it's at. Actually, I never put it in, so that's probably important. Let me put it in. I only have 4 left. I only have half left of what I originally put on. So this stop was supposed to be, it was based on this event, right? But now I had this event, so I can trail it to there. So 1950 is my stop for that long. I just never put it in earlier when we were talking about. All right, so that's working. I got out of half. This comes back, stops me out. So be it. I don't let these algos take my money in the middle of nowhere. They know when nothing's going on, and that's when they start their games. Don't get algoed. Force this market to push through the volume event. So I'm forcing this market. Remember, I got out of half. I still have half on. So for me to get stopped out, I'm forcing it to come back all the way to the ATR, push through the zone, outside of an ATR the other way. Then I say you win, and I'm on to the next trade. That is the best way that I've determined to trade these, so you don't see these algos in there taking your money. Yeah, don't let them take your money. The best you can. That's the best way you can. I'm not saying you're not going to get algoed, but you're eliminating a lot of the nonsense in the middle of nowhere. Is the whole point of that. All right, let's see what's going on here. Crude's getting interesting. I actually, let's see here. This is Algo guy pulled. It was a new event here. Algo guy's pulling right now, it looks like, right now. So let's see if there's a trade off of this last event. So we have a trade for when it crosses. It's called Heavy Hal. That's this guy right here. Algo guy cross with heavy relative volume. Take any trade during or just after Algo guy cross with heavy volume. What was that? I must have just filled on yes. But the relative volume has to be 200% or more. So let's look at our relative volume. Any questions, guys? Throw them in the YouTube channel. So I'm not seeing heavy relative. Well, let's see here. Not quite. So no heavy L for me there. But Algo guy's crossing, so I could go short. And this is getting, like I said, really interesting in crude, where if I do go short, I'm going short double size off of that event, right? Because, so you had that. This couldn't get through that high volume node. Actually, I shouldn't even have taken that trade earlier, but I did. Anyway, you got that. That's a failed breakout of this. So these are different strategies. Could be the FBB, failed balance breakout. It already failed to the downside a little bit yesterday, but anyway, tried that. Couldn't get through this high volume node of this balance area. That's telling you something right there. And now that's a failed breakout. These are some of the best trades in trading. This thing was already looking bearish. We've been talking about this in my room. This had so many chances, like it should have died, came back, broke out. All right, more GC. But the point is, this should have ripped off the page. For this to be back here, this is it. This is the big one, Elizabeth, I think. So we'll see. It's just an opinion. I'm not, I come up with opinions, aka thesis. It doesn't matter. I'll still say I got this volume event right now in this zone. I would still take along here. But my point is, I can take this trading strategy and I'm going to take a double size. And that means I should be getting in right now. Actually, I missed the entry. So there you go. So that was that. That was that event. I should have been right here at 76. So that's already 20 plus ticks in my favor. Or would have been. If that comes back, I'll potentially put that on. But I can put on barks and licks as well. And I'm going to trade everything double size to the short side. Guys, I don't chase. You don't see me like, oh, I should have been at 76. I'm getting in here. No, I missed the trade. Why? Because there's another one of these right around the corner. And I can end up doing the same stuff that I was going to do with this guy. Right? Potentially. So there's more liquidity down here. So I missed that trade. If it comes back, we'll monitor it. But I'm going to be trading double-sized shorts in crude. And I'm still short. I'm still short from this morning in the slug. I still have a position on. So, matter of fact, let's see where we're at, because I will piece out of some. This is a pretty sustained move in crude, which you don't see very often. As far as it usually whipsaws about 85 times before it goes. So what is this? Yellow lug, confluent with daily value area low. I'm getting out of half of whatever I have left. I got to look. Yellow lug, confluent with daily value area low. Daily value area is just one standard deviation of VWAP. So I have confluence. I'm getting out of a couple more. I don't see anything in market profile. Composite, I wouldn't merge these days, I don't think. Let's see here. So if your question whether you should merge days, merge them and then see if the market... The rule of thumb is you want 50% of a single day to overlap that day. This only looks like a quarter. I don't think you should merge that, but let's just take a look and see if the market's responding to this area. Yeah, that's not a bad merge because you can see this day. The bottom of this was yesterday. Was smack dab here. All right, so I'm gonna get out of a couple of these right now. I still had four left. I should say I'm gonna get out of two more, and then I'm gonna let two ride to the next lug. So blue lug or an opposing a volume event, and I can potentially put on more shorts if that comes back to that event. All right, so I'm short. Yes, this is perfect, right? I got in at 27. Remember. So what just happened here? A new event. So perfect meaning. Those of you that love to trail your stops when the market starts moving for you, so you break even, aka get algoed. I don't do that. My stops were still way up here. Actually, I didn't even put it in, but it's supposed to be up here. That's this line, right? So I was willing to let this come all the way back to 41 quarter to stop me out. Now I have a new event. So now, instead of having my stop at 41 quarter, I move it down to 31 quarter because here's a new volume event, something that's happening right now. Pretty important. The most important thing you can look at in futures trading. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. I just want to see if I want to merge these. I think we're okay with just this guy. There's more coming in here though. So I may. All right, we got stuff in NQ too. Remember, I'm still long a couple there, so I'll probably get stuffed out. So this is 580. So I want to combine these zones. This isn't quite threshold. My threshold for ES is 700, and more is coming in here. So a big entity here is continuing, and you can see it on the on chart here. It's continuing to buy this market, right? So let's just move this down. So you got to understand how to read these. To when this spikes, that's when there's more coming in. So you can see that spike right there, and there's more coming in. So I'm going to make this all one big zone. Tons of bias coming in here. Still coming in. So let's move this down. I don't know what that was. I probably got stopped out of the remainder of my NASDAQ. So right now, this still could keep coming in, and I'm gonna keep. This is one entity. You can see it. See that white line? This is one house buying all these contracts. That's pretty important information, I think. How many traders have no idea this is happening? Probably 99% of traders. Whoever doesn't have Bookmap, has no idea. Like again, I don't care what line you have on a chart. It's meaningless unless you're seeing. I mean, say you saw a support area right here, right? And we'll look what's here. Obviously, we'll go through the process. But to me, they're not that important unless you've got real-time activity there. Now, you got real-time activities. If you like this as a support zone, this is potentially going to be a great area to go long. You don't see me going long yet, though, right? Because it hasn't even moved out of this area yet. And this is still coming in. It's another 485. It's the same price, it looks like. Let's see here. No, that came down there, so let's move that. So I'm going to make this just one big zone. So you got it. This is where the subjectiveness comes in. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens frequently where you got to combine zones or decide if you're going to make this one big zone. Right, what am I filling on? Hold on. No, I didn't want to do that. Hold on. I'll move that up to there. All right, that's the zone I have right now. I think that's accurate. So we got, and it just automatically updates the lines, right? And the entries and everything else. So first and foremost, I'm short. This is already 7+ points in my favor. Let's see if there's an area for me to get out of some of these, right? This is how I trade. Right here, you got baby lug. There's a confluence here. I don't usually get out of baby lug by itself. You got baby lug, extreme standard deviation of VWAP, market profile composite low. If this starts to bounce at all, I want to use tick strike 2 to listen to see if this thing's getting killed. I turn market pulse off. I'll put it on just because I have so many products and it kind of freezes up with the zone jar sometimes. So I can put that on too. So market pulse is another incredible way to judge the order flow. It's not as strong as the SI. I hope to God I don't freeze them up my Bookmap here. Please don't do that. Please don't crash on me. Please don't crash on me. I see this isn't good. It won't even let me X out of that. No. What did I do? All right. So now I'm frozen. So that's splendid. I don't know why I just did that. All right. So I'm gonna get out of a couple here just because I can't monitor. So I had 14 on, or yeah, is that right? I'm gonna get out of a 30 here. So again, market profile, composite low, baby lug, extreme standard deviation of VWAP, all three of those. I mean, I would get out of market profile low anyway, some of them, but you got a bunch of stuff here, so I have no problem getting out of some. All right, hey, it didn't freeze up on me, awesome. All right, so it's still coming in here too, another 700. I'm gonna bring it down. So, it sucks. The zone's getting bigger and bigger. I don't impose my wants on the market. I want the zone to be a tick wide. This one's already 7 points wide. It's not that big of a deal with this ATR as high as it is. But the big money keeps coming in here. So I'm going to keep, if this goes down another 10 points, I would keep adjusting the zone. right? So anyway, my stop at least for this short, I got out of 4 of those, so I still got 11 on. Or, I'm sorry, I got out of 5. I still have 9 on, right? I'm going to trail it. That's my new stop. Remember, it was 41.50. Now it's 31.50. Let me put that on. All right, that's working. And then now we want to see what potential trades we can put on with this event.
The US to sell $44 billion in 7-year notes on May 29th.
Let me go.
May 3rd.
Yes, it's moving pretty slow. Let's see
$billion reopened to 2-year.
what's going on here in NASDAQ. So I stopped out of the remainder of that long that I had on. That's why I get out at important areas, right? I got out up here at yellow lug, and you can see this is exactly where this thing bounced. This is why I get out of some at yellow lug. Right there. I don't know, is that powerful or not? You tell me. And this is the yellow lug. This is nothing in power compared to these guys, right? Bounce, bounce, close to VWAP. I got out of half, stopped out of the rest. That's why I get out of some. I don't just hold it. I don't say, I need my 3R, so I'm going to ignore important areas and I'm going to wait for my 3R. Well, guess what? Now you lost. So I got out of those. I basically scratched the rest of the trade. So these are markets. That's why I pay myself when the market makes money available to me directly from trading the zone. And this is why I got out of some of these. Direct bounce, baby lug, Ludwig level. So when I say lug, it's short for Ludwig level. So I don't say Ludwig level 85 times on a webinar. And right there, that's why I got out of some of them. Right? That's how I pay myself. That's how I get out. I don't say I need 4R on this trade. I'm going to ignore important areas. All right, so this is a bearish event. Here's your retest. I don't know if we've talked about this at all today. When the market hits the 1 ATR or the 2 ATR or 3 ATR and comes back to the zone, yeah, it happens nonstop, every market. So anyway, that is that trade. If you took the 1 ATR, congratulations, winner. Winner, chicken is for dinner. Let's see what we got here. My whole computer is slow today. I don't know what is going on. This is an Izzy zone, but the Izzy zones are fade trades, meaning you're looking for a move into the zone to fade it. Well, this is a bearish event. There's no Izzy trade for me in this zone, right? If it were to move out of the zone and back in it, then I could take a short. So there's nothing doing there is what I'm saying. I'm just I'm scanning my areas to see what I can take, what short I can take off of this event, because it's proven to be a short event, a bearish event, I should say. Got nothing market profile. I got nothing lugs. So the only thing I could put on here is bark and lick. Algo guy's bearish, I believe. Come on. Yeah, Algo guy's bearish. And by the way, we put on that red rum. That was the trade we put on there, and that worked perfectly, right? Important area. It was up here. One of these. Put on that red rum. Great trade. Important area with a volume event. That's all I'm doing. You may have your own, that's what I say every webinar. You may have your own important areas. Perfectly fine. It's not for me to say whether your important areas or something you've seen work over and over and over is important or not. Great. Just make sure you demand a volume event in that area, and now you have yourself a real edge, is what I'm telling you. Let me see if you guys got any questions. I've been talking nonstop. Put them in the YouTube channel, please. Scott, there's some exponential and others. I'm using reset. Some guys are using, I used to use sliding. He's asking for the what mode I'm using on the SI. So guys, this is also part of the course, right? So, again, you can learn all this stuff on the fly, but this is all part of this course, right? You get how to add on everything. You get versions, the settings. So this isn't what you're talking about. The settings for the SI indicator, the thresholds, how to adjust thresholds on certain days. Here's the subchart settings, on-chart settings, sweeps indicator, right? How to draw the zones, where you even see me adjust. That's all in here too, right? If you have the zone drawer, most of the stuff you don't have to, I wouldn't say you don't want to know it, but the zone drawer is very, very helpful. But that's that. Here's the setups. Here's the using ATR. Here's the advanced trading of zones. So there's a lot in here. Yes, you can learn it on the webinars, but good luck. It's going to take you some time, right? So fast track and get that thing. All right, so I want to see what other questions are in here. you guys are talking about GC. I can't believe you're going to make me look at GC again. Grumpy, can you go over your recommendations for sizing an Apex 50,250? Yes, I'll do that in a second. Stephen, how do you keep yourself from hitting the high watermark if you're using prop funds? What do you mean hitting the high watermark? You mean pullbacks? Like the trailing stop type of thing? Stephen, is that what you're talking about? We'll go over Apex here in a little bit. Jim Thomas, been having the same issue with Bookmap this morning. If I change any add-on settings, it was freezing. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on today. So the more markets you're watching when you update, so now it's working. Market Pulse is working here. You can see it's actually updated. It just takes some time to update. But yeah, the more markets you're watching, the more data is coming in. All right, so this was. All right, so now I got a new event coming in, but I can still go short that if that happens, and I love going short because these markets are so irrational. But guess what? They just keep going up. Guys, this is exactly what's going on lately. Is exactly why you don't say, "Oh, this can't keep going." Yeah, it could keep going, and it's been keeping going. It doesn't matter. It defies logic. It is what it is, right? Like this can keep going, right? So you never just. What's the saying? The market. The market could stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, right? So it's like you gotta trade what you see. I think it's ridiculous too, but it is what it is, right? So anyway, I love being short though because that seems more sensible. All right, so what just happened is there's a sell ice right in the same area. I don't have to do anything here as far as adjusting my zones. And this comes back to 18,799.70. You see how it's changing dynamically too. That's the great thing with the zone drawing tool, right? Because you have to keep adjusting because it's adjusting with the ATR, average true range. So it comes back. I can put on a whopping 3 guy. That's just based on volatility and the zone size. And here. So otherwise, what if this touches that? Well, then that short is DQ'd. Hold on, I'm still short soybeans. Let me look at that. I might want to pay attention to this stuff that I have trades on. All right, so I've just basically gotten lucky that this doesn't snap back on me. I completely forgot. I put this trade on earlier. Here you go. I talked about there was monster sell ice here this morning. This was a double whammy, actually, one of the 6 setups, but I put this in the room. Exact words were, I think, monster sell ice. And this was, what trade did I put on there? I think it was Izzy, maybe. I can't remember. Well, we'll look here in a second. But anyway, I still have this on, so I just want to see if this is areas where I will be getting out of some of these. This might be the trade of the day. Damn it. Hold on. I keep doing that. We'll go over Apex here in a second, guys. I just want to... Today's the last day for the $250,000 one. We'll go over it, but it's awesome. I've been firing on these accounts because if you blow it out, you lose $17. So it's like when you put out a trade, if you lose $17, you don't blink an eye. So I'm willing to fire the entire account, and that all ends today. We'll go over it, but that's what I've been doing on some of these accounts. What am I looking at here? Soybeans. All right, so I'm getting out here. See where we're at? I don't know if I've mentioned these things. They're called Ludwig levels. Second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life in futures trading. Anyway, right there, it's a fluid point of control. I'm out of this trade. I don't, if I were sitting here, not on webinar, I would monitor, see if it could push through, but this has been a great trade. I'm out. Hold on. Let me get out of these guys. Yeah, that's a pretty good trade. What else do I have on? Still have 2 crude, still have 9 ES, and why am I long NASDAQ? Hold on. I must have forgotten to cancel an order. All right, I'm out of that. That's my MO, guys. That's why I'm using Apex accounts, because I make so many mistakes. I got sick of losing tens of thousands of dollars because I forget orders in the order book, so on and so forth. All right, what just happened here? All right, so remember I was going to go short this event. I never went short because I didn't follow my parameters. Now this is actually a bullish event. What I didn't look for is, was there something I can go along off of this, but we'll come back there in a second. I just want to see, did I just stop out of ES? I did. So you saw me get out of some down here. I paid myself as the market made briefly money available to me. I'm very, very shocked the market did a bungee jump. Not. Guys, this is why I get out at these areas. Not all of them. I got out of some. I was able to trail my stop to the most recent event that now turned bullish. So buy ice, whoever just came in here, held this market. This is a Titanic setup. That's the name of the setup. Titanic. Right? Here. Titanic. That's one of the 6 distinct setups. So I got out of some of that area, and I trailed. My stop was all the way up here, trailed there, stopped out, right? So again, as even the most important thing is you can understand what the hell is going on here. You're short, like, yeah, finally we're going to zero. You have no idea. When you see that, you're like, oh wait, yeah, wow, someone just bought like 3,000 icebergs here, or buy ice. I might want to be careful here. And then, hey, what do you know, right? So again, if you, I don't care how great of a trader you are, if you don't have this information, you do not have all the information. I mean, this is what's going on right now. Wouldn't it behoove you to know that someone came in here and bought, this is over 1,000 right here. Then you had another 5, so you got 1,600, you got 2,700, over 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, and on and on. So this is like 4,500 buy icebergs, 4,500 contracts. You think you might want to know that when you're trading? I think you might want to know that. So that's the whole point, guys. That's all I've ever said to you. From my experience in futures trading, this is the information. There is nothing better. There is no better edge in trading from my 25 years of experience than understanding this stuff, because it's what's happening right now. And it's hidden orders, but it's not so hidden if you have Bookmap. You see it. That's the point. I just, to this day, I cannot understand. Even guys that come in my trade room and then they quit and they send me the note, not for me, not what I was expecting. What the hell, what's not for you? Knowing what's going on in the market? Some people just don't get it, but if you don't think this is relevant or actually the best thing that you can ever use in trading, then you're just in the wrong game, in my opinion. But you guys just keep on keeping on and trading your lines in the middle of, your Bollinger Bands, whatever the hell you're looking at. I'm not saying that stuff's not important. What I'm saying is use this to confirm your areas, is what I'm saying. Let's see. All right, so no more questions there. We can go over Apex. I just want to see if I can. So this is a bullish event. So what can I do here? Well, let's see. I probably missed a trade. That was a pick trade. So I should be long pick, right? Profiles encouraged. Short for pick. Volume event at the bottom of that guy. That's why I got out of some down there, right? So I should already be in the pick trade. 32. And I could put on, I could put on 5, but I'm trading these Apex accounts, so I'm going to fire. I'm literally going to put on like 40 of them. And we'll go over what I'm doing there too. Hold on. Let's pick one of these puppies. So I can risk $6,500 on these accounts. So 500, so I can put on, what was that? Losing my train of thought now. So if I'm risking 5 for 500, that means I could put on 10 times that. So I could put on 50, I could put on 60 contracts. So we'll go over what I'm doing here in a second. Let me get this set up. All right, so I should already be long this, right? Because pick trades are aggressive. Bottom of that market profile composite, buy ice, I take it first move out. So I just got lucky it's not up here. I'm getting in right there. If you really want to be safe, what you could do, you see where this thing paused. So that's what I'm going to do here, because this is what I preach, right? This entry wasn't quite at this prior event, but it's right in front of it, and you saw it failed there. So I'm going to enter this, but I'm going to force this to get through this prior event. So I'm going to go long at 35 versus 32. I'm willing to risk three extra points not to watch this thing get juked at this zone, right? So go long at 35. So this is a little subjective, right? But the more you watch these, you're going to learn, oh, crap, I got in right in there. Oh, man, that's why. So I try to push them out of the zone. That's it. Sometimes you have volume event, volume event, volume event, volume event. And you're like, you just got to bite the bullet because you're not going to move it up 30 points, right? But in this case, I got to risk 3 extra points. Fine by me. So I don't fill right in the middle of that prior zone. So that's all I'm doing there. As far as Algo guy, let's see what's going on here for Barks and Licks. This is still bearish. So there's no red rum here, right? Because there's no volume event. That's what I got short off initially. If I got a volume event right now, I could potentially put on a red rum short, but that's not the case. This is a bullish event. I'm going to go long pick. I can't go Barks and Licks because Algo guy's still bearish. So the only long I could put on is the pick long, and I should already be long. I take that back. I shouldn't. I'm moving out of that zone. So, but trades 35. I'm in that long. So let's see what I missed here on Mr. NASDAQ. Is this an Izzy? So this, even though it was kind of sitting in the zone, oh, let me see, I take that back. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a diluted Izzy. It's not exactly what I look for, but I mean, this was an event you can fade out of the zone, but this has been sitting in the zone, right? So it like went down through it, came back, sell ice. The best Izzy's, guys, because we get this confusion all the time in the trade room too. You're just looking for moves, especially elongated moves into these areas, and then you get the volume event, and then you fade it. That's it, right? This one's a little. You could take it if you wanted to. I'm not taking it, but this is just a different version of the Izzy. But I'm not going to take that one. So that's one long. What else I got going here? Algo guy just crossed, right? So could I put on a Algo guy cross? Yes, I could have. So I could have put on a heavy L off of this. So Algo guy cross. That's the strategy here. Algo guy cross with heavy relative volume. Take any trade during or just after Algo guy cross with heavy relative volume, 200% or more. And that's exactly what we got. Right there. Why won't this? Right there. So I should be long heavy L right now. See how that's crossing? What time did that cross? 8:09. You start to get the space too. That's the best time to cross it. So 8:09-ish. That's right there. I should be in this trade. So I'm not going to chase it. I missed it. It already came back to this price 10 times. It's probably not coming back again, but I will put that on. I could put on 3 at 74.75. So that comes back. I will put on heavy L. So guys, you see, I rarely will chase up even a couple ticks, right? Because there's just another event right around the corner if I miss this trade most of the time. This is number 103 on here. We'll go over the apex here in a second. I'm just trying to. All right, here. I'll pay up a little bit for these. Here we go. I don't usually do this, but I'll just get these on. All right. So if it comes back there, I'll put on the rest. I put on like half of them. So, or not even half, but if it comes back there, I'll put on the rest. This is heavy out. What else can I do here? Algo guy just pulled, so if this happens to come back, which it's very likely. So it's another thing too, right? If you understand the odds of this coming back to the zone are probably 70% or higher from my experience, then you're not crapping your pants. So say you just got long like with me, which you shouldn't be mirroring my trades, but say you got long. Say you're in my trade room and you know you got long heavy out, and it starts to do that. That should not faze you. You should expect that to happen because that's all that happens most of the time. It means nothing. This is the middle of nowhere. There's nothing happening here. So you don't panic out of the trade because it's just pulling back to the zone. If this does this and can push all the way there, then I say, Uncle, you win on to the next trade. Other than that, I don't sweat it when it starts to algo me. See this? See this in there? What do you think this is doing? That's making that happen and making you guys panic and flipping out watching tick for tick. Don't get algoed. All right, so I'll fill in that heavy L, and then there's potential Barks and Licks there. Let's see what's going on in gold here. Sure, I missed a trade. No, maybe not. So it's been stop run, stop run, stop run. I'm pretty sure we got new lugs now. Remember we were going to put on a slug earlier. You got to refresh these on Sierra a lot, yeah. So we got new lug, All right, so I'm filling on those heavy L's. They're coming back. I'm filling on those in NASDAQ. What other areas do I have potential long here? So there's no slug for me. I don't get long at the yellow lug. It's just the blue lug or the red lug, or short at the red lug. I don't think this is a market profile composite. Let's see here. No. This guy can be deleted, I believe. Yeah, let's cut this guy off here. There you go. That's easier on my brain. So blew through that guy. This is the next area down if you're going to look for pick trades, profiles, and courage. And that's this trade here. Take an 8 trade that moves in out of a market profile composite high or low. So if that moves down there, so if there's nothing for me to go long here, then for those, let's see if this is an inflection zone in Izzy trade. Sure is. And these are the best ones. This is what I was talking about, right? Straight moves into these zones, the fade trades. So if this moves out of here, I'm going to take a long at this price. Long aggressive. This is where I don't wait for this pattern. I get long right away. So if that comes up there, I'm putting on 2350.2. That's gold. This is Izzy, 2350.2. All right, those are working. So that comes back. I can put that on, see what Algo looks like. So you see how I'm like just scanning all the different things that I can do here if this once it moves out of here. So I don't know what this event is. I don't know if it's bullish or bearish. If it moves out of there, it'll be bullish. I'm going long. Algo guy's bearish. So if this event turns out to be bearish, I could put on Barks and Licks, those trading strategies, short. So I don't know what I'm doing yet until this shows me its hand. Right? It's like you're playing poker. You're just waiting for it to show its hand. I don't know if this is a long setup. I don't know if it's a short setup. How do I know that? Just like I said, because I've watched millions of these things. So if this can push an ATR out, then I consider it bullish. It's telling me something's up. If it pushes an ATR out this way, I know it's bearish, something's up. So then I have trading strategies for that way. I have trading strategies for that way. In the meantime, I just sit here and wait. I don't just throw on trades in the middle of zones or on the corner or the edges of them. I wait for that. So it's called patience. Being a sniper, waiting to blow someone's head off. All right, let's go over Apex real quick. Let's see if you guys got any other questions. No. All right, so guys, I've been talking about this all the time. I kind of lost my cool last week. I usually pretty good at not losing my cool anymore, but the guy was like, "Hey, why would you use that? Why would you even use them, man? They don't pay, blah, blah, blah." I've been using them for 2.5 years. I've been paid multiple times. Like I said, if you got any questions, just, first of all, it's going to be all over social media. If they stop paying masses of people, you're going to know in about 10 seconds. Then they have the Discord channel. So go in here. There's a bunch of really good traders in here, minus the really good trader part. But that's not important, right? So if you want to feel good about your trading, especially as you learn this stuff, just go in here and see what a great trader you are, right? So the point is, if they're not paying out, you're going to see 5,000 messages in here, right? So this is the one I put my name behind, right? Am I part of the company? No, but I've been using them. I use them for all these. These things are a dime a dozen now. This is the best one that I've seen. If you're taking my advice, which I think that's why you're on the webinar, that's my recommendation is to use these Apex accounts, right? So right now, and you want to use them for multiple reasons. So say you come in my trade room, right? And you're learning. Don't be trading your own money right away. Learn what the hell you're doing, and you don't have to learn, right? So, because a lot of people can't. Whoops. A lot of people can't. What the hell? Hold on. A lot of people are like, I can't trade sim because I don't trade it the same. Okay, I can understand that. For me, it's about being right or wrong. I don't care if I'm on sim mode. I don't care if I'm trading 1 micro. I don't care if I have 1,000 on. That's why I was able to become such a big trader back in the day, because it didn't affect me as far as the money. It affected me being right or wrong, right? So I was able to up my size because it hurt just as bad if I had a 1 lot on versus 1,000. So that's a whole different story. I'm not going to go into those rants Anyway, if you are practicing, if you are underfunded, there's many reasons why you should be by looking at these things, right? So the point is, if you do it, you still have skin in the game, so you're not going to just be haphazardly trading. You're going to actually pay attention and try to trade well, because you still got to up the money, even if it's, so this is what I'm getting at. Right now, they have this, it ends tonight, right? This is the best one I've ever seen them offer. So you can get this $250,000 account for $17, right? So that's what I was saying. So I'm just literally getting these and I'm letting them all ride on one trade, because if I blow out of it, I lose $17. Big deal. I'd be losing that on a trade, and that's nothing. It's one tick on a one lot, on a regular lot. So this is it. So if you do this, you've got to make, I love the scrolling thing on this. You got to make 15 grand for this particular account before you lose $6,500, right? The issue is you got to be careful, especially if you're trading full size and you're like, okay, I like that idea. I'm going to risk the seven. It's like $16.97 to do one of these, and ends tonight, right? So there's a couple great things about this. I'll get into this quickly. You got to be careful. This happened to me last Thursday or Friday, and my trade rooms, the guy in my trade room, Dune Runner, was warning because I had really good profits. It was natural gas, and I was short both of them, and they were going like this, and I was up like 9 grand. I was already close to and they have one day that you qualify. So if you hit 15 grand in the day, if you make that in a day, you get the live account. It used to be 10 days or 14 days, and it was 7. Now, right now, they have it for one day. So anyway, I was on my way to there. And he's like, be careful, because it's a trailing stop. So it's a $6,500 stop when I put on a loss limit when I put the trade on. Well, what makes it difficult and makes you monitor your risk is as this moves in my favor. So I was up $9,000 on both of them, and then it turned around and it came back, and I gave back $6,500 from my high point plus $9,000. So I was still up $2,500, and I blew out of those accounts, right? So because I wasn't monitoring them. So yes, I guess you can say, well, that's the catch, blah blah blah. Well, one, it helps you manage risk, right? You got to say, okay, I got this in my favor. I can't let this thing come all the way back, or I'm going to blow out of the account, right? So regardless, if you do it, so the great thing is you got to make 19, you got to make 15 before you lose 6,500. So it's $17 up until I think the thing ends tonight. The other great thing is because when you get funded, so I've been doing forever the 150,000. Well, I'm going to wait for this thing to scroll because it's the most annoying thing ever, right? I've been doing these. I still think this is a better deal overall when these are normal priced, because you only have to make you can lose 5,000 before you make you got to make 9,000 before you lose 5. This one you only have an extra $1,500 and you have to make another $6,000. So that's not incremental to me. But regardless, the other great thing is with these $150,000 accounts, when they qualify, you got to pay the fee to the PA fee, activation fee. So they have like 2 different options. You can either do like $85 a month, and you pay it every month, kind of like you already do for the tryout stuff. Or you can pay a one-time fee. I think it's like $230, right? And then the account yours. It's still a great deal, guys. Like you're getting for the 150, it's basically a $5,000 account, and the 250, it's a $6,500 account. You put that up, and you have it for life, right? And then it's like you really have a $5,000 or $6,500 account. So the deal with this up until tonight, I think it's till the end of June or end of May for this. It's only $85 activation fee forever, right? So it's like once you get it, you pay the $85. You don't have to pay a monthly fee, nothing like that. So that's the other great deal. I've had about 20 of these so far, where I'm just firing on them, right? So the whole point is to get some of these live, and then I can just attach them to all these trading strategies. So that's that. Let me ask I forgot what Grumpy actually asked me in here. And please don't start saying, oh, they don't pay. Why are you using it? Guys, it is a great option for people that are underfunded, or if you want to practice. If you have your own money, then trade your own money. You do whatever you want. I'm giving you my opinion. Grumpy said, could you go over the recommendations for sizing on Apex 50 versus 250? I don't have the 50, but guys, you just plug that in, right? So, well, let's just look, right? So that's on the spreadsheet, or you can put it in the put it in the zone drawing. So the 50, you can only risk, you got to make 3 grand before you lose $2,500, right? So you come in here. I mean, this is if you're betting full boat, but you just put in, I don't have any of these I don't have the zone set up here, but just say this is the like ATR is way higher than this right now. Let's just put 25 ATR. All right, so I'll come in here. See, I was already doing this for the $250,000 one. So if you can only lose $2,500, you put that in as the account size. So if you're risking 10% on a trade, you can trade risk $250 on a trade and you lose 10%. That basically gives you 10 shots. 10. I mean, not exactly because you wind it down a little bit, but the point is you could put $250 at a 10%. If you're letting it all ride, where you're saying I'm going to let the $2,500 ride, then you just make this. I mean, at 10%, you just put this in. The whole point is this tells you how many contracts you can put on. Other than that, I wouldn't be doing the $50,000. I would take shots at these at least today. It's $17. I mean, if you put on again, if you have a real account and you put on a trade, if you go down $17, are you blinking your eye? No. So take some shots. If you catch a nice winner, you qualify, right? And then back to tomorrow, and then go back to the normal account, right? And then you trade normal, right? So you'd be risking $250. It tells you exactly how many regular contracts you can't put on 0.17. But you could put on 2. You round up 2 micros. So other than that, Grumpy, I'm not understanding what you're asking, right? You just plug this stuff in, and depending on what risk you want to take. But I wouldn't be subscribing to the 50 today. I would, up until tonight, I would give the 250 a shot. Who else? Add Pro Productions. What do you recommend I have to get the most from your trade room? Take your course in Bookmap. Yeah. So guys, this is all in here, right? So you don't need this stuff right away until you're going to want this, because this is trust me, everybody in the room that has this is like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. That's why Johan's being nominated. That's the developer for the Trading Hall of Fame. I'm at the time limit too here, guys. I got yelled at last week for going over so quickly. But yeah, like I said earlier, you can learn on the fly what I'm doing, but it's going to take you some time. If you want to fast track it, you want to get the course so you hit the ground running. That's all in this document. I'll post it one more time. We haven't gotten into all these. But when you come in my room, you also get a welcome email, and I go over everything that I use, everything that you need if you want to trade exactly what I'm trading. You don't need to get everything I'm using. Like I use the Ludwig levels. I use spot gamma. We didn't even look at the euro today. We'll do that next week, a little closer. But this is stuff I'm using. And then the Apex, spot gamma, tick strike. You don't need all of this stuff, Ludwig levels. But this is what I use. If you think what I'm saying has any worth, then you might want to pay attention to what I'm doing. And use some of it. I'm not saying it because some guy was like, oh my God, I can get in there and you got to buy 45 things. You don't have to buy what you do need. The absolute essential things you need is Bookmap and the SI indicator, the CME MBO bundle, right? And if you use these links, you get discounts to the regular. This is the regular software for Bookmap, the GlobeX Plus, which you want because it gives you the sweeps and everything. That's this. So it's a pretty decent discount there. And then the only other thing you really have to have if you want to trade what I'm doing is the MBO bundle. And you need a rhythmic data feed because they're the only people that power the. So it's this. What you want to do here, I got to be quick here because I got to hop off. If you get this, depending on how many markets you use. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Of course, I screwed it up. Hold on. I was just going to show you the pro version. If you're non-professional and you want to get the bundle, if you want to watch multiple markets, which I highly recommend. I don't know if for some reason it won't let me over there. Here, hold on, quickly. It's not letting me. So let me show you guys. You'll see when you get on here. But you can pick individual markets or you can pick the bundle, and it's cheaper. Actually, I'm sorry, that's not even this. This is the MBO bundle. You want that, but when you go to Rhythmic to get the data feed, that's what I was getting at. Sorry. This, then. If you only want to trade ES&Q, you pick that. If you want to trade all of them, which I recommend you watch multiple markets, then it's that. Instead of having these individually, it adds up, right? So instead of 160, you pick the bundle and you get all of the exchanges under the umbrella. All right, guys, that's I got to go. I don't want to get yelled at again. So I'm long here. Yes, I will ATR retest. I'll continue to go long there. I'm still short CL, moving nicely. So I'm trading this setup double size, barks and licks, like we talked about. The CL's going to 0, it looks like. Again, that's just my opinion thesis. I'm still trading what I see, and I'm still waiting for moves out of here in gold to go along. Once again, I do this every day in my trade room, twice a day most days, and it's Again, please don't come in there unless you're going to participate, though. That's what I want. I don't want secret squirrels in there that don't participate, because I want it to be like a trading firm where we're all sharing ideas. All right, that's it. Have a great week, and I'll